Hello everyone, tonight on the program, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System says all necessary security features have been implemented to ensure a robust electronic payment system as the country migrates to a cashless economy.
From the development of the solution point of view, I can give you the assurance that from the GIBS and the financial institutions, we've used the highest standard that exists.
Also tonight, the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations and the National Development Planning Commission to craft a national precision quality policy to bridge the skills gap and create more jobs.
By a miracle of coincidences, the whole technical universities has adopted precision quality as part of their curriculum. And the Vice Chancellor is working with his staff, students and master craftsmen in the Volta region to make it a reality.
Also, as much as $32 million available for green financing, but banks say there are no projects to fund.
What we are making the technical assistance do now for us is help us build the capacity to be able to identify a true green product or project from what we think is green.
My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us tonight on Business Live. We will be right back. First up tonight, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System says all necessary security features have been implemented to ensure a robust electronic payment system as the country migrates to a cashless economy. According to Chief Executive Archie Hesse, this would drive the country's cashlight and digitalization agenda. There's more in the following report. The Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GIBS, together with partner institutions, is holding a series of activities at the country's major malls to create awareness on adoption of GHQR code for payments. The first in a series was held Friday at the Junction Mall in Nungwa, a suburb of Accra. Chief Executive of GIBS, Archie Hesse, says all necessary security features have been implemented to ensure a robust electronic payment system as the country migrates to a cashless economy.
Well, fraud comes in two areas. One, from the development of the solution, and then also the usage. From the development of the solution point of view, I can give you the assurance that from the GIBS and the financial institutions, we've used the highest standard that exists. Now, you made mention of the usage angle. It's in that regard why we could have just scanned and then type in the amount and then off you go. But we have included the possibility where you actually see the merchants that you are paying for. That is one of the measures that we have included in our solutions to mitigate against fraud. But if, let's say, for example, I take your phone and I know your PIN number, you have compromised your PIN number. So you give me your PIN number and I use it. Under the circumstance, there's nothing anybody can do.
Mr. Hesse further stressed the need for Ghana to transform into a cashless economy with the electronic payment system.
The central bank uses a lot of foreign money to pay for the cash or the currencies, the paper currencies that have been printed. Secondly, the banks, the central banks again, use a lot of money for the distribution. It has to be followed by armed policemen, etc. These are all inherent costs that we would have to forego if we all migrate or start transacting cashlight electronically. In that regard, so if you move away from cash, it's important to know that you are embarking on a journey, you are supporting a journey to support the development of the country.
Officials of various banks also joined the team from GIBS at the mall to educate the public as well as take shoppers through the process of paying with GHQR.
Process GHQR is a lifesaver for our industry, because with COVID and with convenience we're selling now, we believe that it will definitely help our customers cut down the long process in making payments, and also the promise of security, because you tap or you scan and then it leaves your account, it pays instantly, or you dial through any USSD enabled to pay GHQR, and it's also possible to do that. And as a bank, we provide platforms for this to be possible through USSD, and also working on the scan as well.
You don't necessarily have to be a customer to use the GHQR. You can scan regardless of the bank app you have. So if you are with a different bank, you can still scan our GHQR. It's universal. However, we have a short code as well, which you can do the dial to pay. So it's in two forms. We have scan to pay and dial to pay. So our short code is *895#.
So for ADB, we are very excited about the GHQR product, and we've just upgraded our mobile banking app. And the cool feature about it is that non-ADB account users can actually use our app to make payments on the GHQR link. All you have to do is download the app from your app store and then go through the registration process and select mobile wallets for now. And then you can make payments using the GHQR platform. So it's exciting for ADB customers and non-ADB customers.
GHQR is an electronic payment channel that enables customers to scan displayed QR codes with their smartphones and pay or dial displayed USSD codes with their phones to make payments. Ghana's QR code for payment is universal, which means that any customer whose bank or payment service provider offers the service can use it wherever it is displayed. Now, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority has welcomed proposals to increase workers' contributions from the current 18.5%, as well as the retirement age of 60 years. The proposals have been influenced by concerns about the sustainability of the pension scheme going forward. Now, speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Chief Executive of the authority, Hayford Atakofi, said a debate is now needed to bring finality to the issue.
We are a regulator. We have an overview, an overarching view. The managers of the schemes will have to make proposals to us. And then because it becomes a policy matter, so obviously that will have to be escalated, to government level, and then a national dialogue, can be had. But so far, that report hasn't come to us.
From your independent, you've seen these actual reports and all the rest. From an independent perspective, do you think that you should throw it up for it to be considered? Because if the contributions are not increased, we may be heading, and I'm choosing my time, my words carefully, we could be heading to a block, or be hitting a block.
It is not an independent view as such, that you have to have. But those who are managing the scheme are the ones who have to generate the conversation.
But as a regulator, do you think it should be increased?
It is not in my place.
But someone said that the contributions are not enough, and therefore there have been several proposals by independent actors and all the rest.
You see, if you're a regulator and then you go in, and say that it should be increased, or my view is that it should be increased, then you have already prejudiced the conversation. So it is not in my place.
Speaking as a lawyer here. But for you, if the report should come to your end that it should be increased, will you approve it?
Obviously, no. It is not approved. It becomes a policy matter. So you also have to escalate it. Because you see, certain things are enshrined in the Act. So it will mean that, for example, the Act itself will have to be amended, and this is an issue for Parliament, for example. So you don't want to prejudice any process.
The Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations and the National Development Planning Commission have affirmed commitment to work with the Design Technology Institute to craft a national policy, a precision quality policy. The policy, which will be a key component of technical and vocational education in the country, is expected to address the skills gap challenge and create thousands of jobs and work opportunities for young Ghanaians. Here's more from a multi-stakeholder dialogue organized by DTI in collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation. The consultative conference, which was held under the theme Unlocking the Skills and Competencies of Young People, for quality jobs in Ghana and the globalized labor market, brought together key state and non-state stakeholders, including the Ghana Standards Authority, Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, Association of Ghana Industries, Academia, and Mastercraft persons to provide input into a national policy on precision quality as a key component of TVET education in Ghana. Speaking at the event, Chief Executive of Design and Technology Institute, Constance Elizabeth Swaneker, commended the Mastercard Foundation for their immense role in the implementation of the Precision Quality Program and other stakeholders for their tremendous support so far for the soon-to-be-developed national policy on precision quality.
By a miracle of coincidences, the whole technical university has adopted precision quality as part of their curriculum. And the Vice Chancellor is working with his staff, students, and master craftsmen in the Volta region to make it a reality. The Minister of Employment and Labour Relations is convinced of the power of PQ as a change agent. And the NDPC readily bought into the campaign when we approached the Director General and his staff to insert PQ in the TVET policy. And this happened only just a few weeks ago.
On his part, the Director General of the NDPC, Dr. Kojo Mensah Brampa, said the proposal of the Commission was to ensure improved skills development for industry by transforming apprenticeship training model from a supply-driven approach to a market demand model.
And because a lot of these output from our technology and industrial development apprenticeship, which we find and we usually term the wayside, has become a challenge. It has even gone to the extent of affecting even some of our vocational and formal training institutions. For many of the outputs that we bring out, it does not meet the purpose of the need of industry. And therefore, a lot of them are imported. And the key thing has to do with the quality of these products.
Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah, was emphatic one sure way to facilitate the development agenda of the nation is to have highly skilled and strongly motivated labor force.
Whether we like it or not, the future of work is real. So for a nation, we have no choice than to prepare and adapt to that future. Otherwise, what is going to happen is that other countries will be up for it, they will prepare for it, and before you know, somebody will sit in the US and will be doing work in Ghana. Somebody will sit in Nigeria and will be doing work that are meant for Ghanaians in Ghana, because we ourselves have not prepared ourselves for that. So I have said to myself that we are going to begin a conversation of how we want the world of work to be, perhaps in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. And one of the institutions we are going to partner is the NDPC to implement that.
The conference forms part of a 3-year Transforming Youth TVET Livelihoods for Sustainable Jobs partnership between Design and Technology Institute and the Mastercard Foundation as part of the Foundation's Young Africa Work strategy in Ghana. Now, the Agricultural Development Bank and distributors of Ekumfi Juice have embarked on a tour of the Ekumfi Foods and Juices Factory and their farms. The essence of the visit was to get familiar with the operations of the company. This visit was also to assess the growth of the company following rumors that it had shut down operations. The Agricultural Development Bank and the distributors of the company's product expressed their excitement when the company took them round to inspect the 5,000-acre pineapple farms. Now, operations manager of the factory, Frederick Obna Aqua, told Joy Business the factory has a structured system and would withstand all shocks. Richard Kodonyako has more.
The distributors of Ekumfi Juice, a locally manufactured fruit juice across the country, paid a familiarization tour of the farms and the factory to understand at first hand the operations of the factory and what the factory has put in place to keep it running. There were rumors about a week ago that the factory had shut down its operations because the quantity of the product supplied had gone down. The rumors were subsequently discounted by management. Following that, the distributors of the company's product undertook a tour of the facility to ascertain the true picture of the company's standards. The management of the factory took the distributors and the Agric Development Bank officials to their 5,000-acre pineapple plantation and to the factory sites.
So far, I should say this is very impressive
We've seen most of the sites, and looking at what they have done, if it should mature, I believe we'll be able to get enough products to supply to the Ghanaian market. And I believe going forward, more people should be encouraged to invest in the production of the pineapples.
Very, very impressed. I'm very, very impressed. We are the distributors, and actually we have not been here before. We didn't know they have this huge farm behind the factory doing the production. But today that I've come to see what they are doing, I'm very, very impressed with what's going on here. But you see, we had some juices on the market already. So when we brought this, and we're like, these ones are pure juice. They were like pure juice, and the way they were packed the size was good enough for children to take to school. So it was very easy getting parents to start, buying those ones for their children to send to school.
Head of the Agri-Value Chain Financing Department of the Agricultural Development Bank, Isaac Denchiansong, says the bank's investment in the production of pineapple at the Ekumfi Juice has been a worthwhile venture, and they will do more to support agri-related enterprises in the country like that.
About 70% of the cost of production depends upon land development, and so we have to finance that. We also considered financing irrigation for them, and that is why you saw that dam being constructed. We decided to finance about 1,560 acres of the farm, but the farm manager is so good that he has even gone beyond our targeted financing.
Operations manager of the local fruit juice manufacturing company limited, Frederick Kwabena Akwa, says the factory has been structured to give off the best of the Ghanaian ingenuity and want people to support the company rather than being in a haste to see it fall.
This is your company. In fact, most of you here have been here from the beginning. I'm sure you wish us so well, but there are certain protocols we would want you to follow. For example, I'm in Accra in a meeting, and somebody calls me that, I'm in your factory, I want you to open for me to go. I don't know where this one works, except for our factory. When somebody comes and say, open the gate for me to go inside to video, otherwise, because I've heard that you are not working. So if you are not opening, then it means you are not working. But this is food industry. I wonder how you go to a food industry without prior appointment, without protocol, and then you just would, even in this era of COVID. You see, if it is for security or for regulatory purposes, that is fine.
The company says their pineapple production in all their 21 sites have been staggered to enable them deal with the demands of the markets. From the Ekumfi Juice Factory, my name is Richard Kwejonya for JoyNews.
And you're watching Business Live with me, Daryl Carr. Still to come, as much as $32 million available for green financing projects, but banks say there are no projects to fund.
What we are making the technical assistance do now for us is help us build the capacity to be able to identify a true green product or project from what we think is green.
Welcome back to Business Live. Now, banks are struggling to find green projects to invest in. Some individual banks have as much as $32 million in their vaults looking for green projects. Now, the Dean of the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Justice Baoli, says there are currently very few experts in the green finance space to attract funds. He spoke with Odilia Ntiamwa.
Often we are very quick at coming up with blueprint policy documents, and many times the show had ended after celebrating the launch of a particular blueprint here or there. And so the question you ask is extremely important. And I think that when we had the workshops, one of the critical things that had happened in there was the realization that even though we have these blueprints, the implementation has been completely disjointed to the extent that actors do not think that there's an enabling environment to allow for the practice of what it is we are putting in policy. And I'll give you a few examples. One, till date, you would have very limited numbers of consultants who have the capacity to be able to develop a green project from beginning to end and to get it funded. And that's a very important aspect of the whole game, because if you look at the African continent, a lot of the organizations that we have in Ghana, there are a lot of them that are just micro enterprises who do not have themselves the capacity to even put together a winnable proposal. So the skill sets are completely missing. There's also the support of sector-specific support programs. So you're likely to get a generic policy statement that says Ghana wants to encourage green financing. But in terms of specific sectors, when people are going to be entering into specific sectors, you see that there is not much more detailed guidance on how people can get into particular sectors. And I'll give you an example. There are a number of recycling companies in Ghana, but as you begin to engage them, you see that they are completely frustrated. And the reason is that even though you hear the fanfare about support, when you begin to take the steps, you see that there's completely no support for you. So that the other portion of it is how we can actually ensure that at sector levels, there can be specific guidance and specific support. The other thing is that funding in Ghana is largely a short-term funding. And a lot of the green finance projects or green business projects are projects that take a minimum of 5 years to realize. And if you are going to be getting a loan or some facility that you are going to be working and paying back within a cycle of 1 year, that makes it extremely difficult. Meanwhile, the funding agencies, the banks, are still holding on to the commercial ideas of wanting to fund and make money within a short period of time. And of course, that's for their business, but for the sustainability of the sector and for the benefits that come with green businesses and green financing projects, you want to be able to calculate the profits, what we call the profit, in other terms rather than the financial bottom line.
We'll hear next from Head of Corporate Banking at Cal Bank, Justin Lining, who has been speaking about the struggles banks face in finding green projects to invest in.
I'm right about it's actually 32.5 million that we've raised from 2 developmental finance institutions. The interesting thing is, with our knowledge of green, we sat down and we thought we had done this for 12 companies. Very excited about it. But one of the financiers was good enough to offer us technical assistance. By the time we were done with the assessment, we had 2 left. So it means that all those that we have called green are not necessarily what you categorize as green. And so we haven't done as much as we wish we could have done by now. What we are making the technical assistance do now for us is help us build the capacity to be able to identify a true green product or project from what we think is green. Because it's interesting, I've been in several discussions on green and green funding and green financing, and you find that even the people who are your resource persons have a gap of understanding what really green financing is.
All right, and that's Business Live tonight. If you have ideas for business, you may want to turn to green financing, green projects for that matter, to access financing. But for now, more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We've got stories there including Ghana Stock Exchange, Africa's best performing stock market in half year, returns 36% in dollar terms for investors. Also, arbitrary illegal shipping charges frustrating port business, according to Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders and Guta. More on myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Clark. Thanks for watching and do enjoy your weekend.